Welcome TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how we can create the warehouse and check out some other features related to the warehouse. So once you log into the Snowflake and then you have multiple ways to actually create the warehouse. So first of all, we'll be creating the warehouse by using commands or SQL queries, and then later we will also use the UI. So once you're here, what you can do, you can click on the create button here, and then you will go to the SQL worksheet. That's the worksheet you can use to write all those queries. And here, once you are in the worksheet, you can see right here, it tells you which account you're using and also which compute you are using. You can click right there and it will show you all those warehouses available to you. So what we are going to do here, I already have created one worksheet and that's where I have put all the definitions and everything. So we can take a look from there. So I'm going to expand this one a little bit more, and so we can see all the details here. It's going to cover the definition, pricing, use cases, and create the warehouse, check the warehouse, and finally drop the warehouse. So let's start with the definition. A virtual warehouse in Snowflake is the compute engine. So it executes the SQL queries, it loads and unloads data, and it performs the transformations. Storage is totally separate, so you can scale or stop compute without affecting your data. Now, how you will check that? So here we want to see the current warehouse. So we can always say select and then current underscore account. That's going to give us account ID. We would like to check the region, so current underscore region, then current underscore user function right here, and then you have current underscore role, and the same way you have a current underscore warehouse, so that will give you active warehouse. So as of now, you can see that right there I have a compute data warehouse, and if we run this one, it's going to probably give us that information. So as you can see right here, we have account ID, and then we have region, and then we have username, and then we have a role name, and then we have active warehouse. So that's a compute underscore WH. So let's just click on the results again to hide that. So now let's talk about pricing. Pricing is per credit per hour. So credits are charged per hour based on the warehouse size. So here we have different sizes available, and then we have credits per hour. So here if I'm just looking into the very small, so it's X small, and it will be using 1 credit per hour. Now it can run small queries, but if you need to run a little bigger queries or large size queries with large size data, you will be probably struggling with the X small, and then you might want to shift to the small, and that will be using 2 credits per hour. Then you have medium, that will be using 4 credits per hour. So as your needs are increasing or your data is huge and your queries are complex, you might be going with the large size instead of using a very small size. And here you can see that you have a 4x large, that will be using 128 credits per hour. But you got the idea, it will use the credits per hour, but how much you will pay. So here is an example. On standard edition, you will be paying around $2 per credit in US. So let's say if we have small and then it has a 2 credit per hour, so it will be 2 credits per hour. That means we will multiply with the $2, and that will give us $4 per hour. So that will be for small, and if you are using medium, so that will be around $8 per hour. We will go into the editions of Snowflake later, like we have standard edition and other business and all that. So I will talk about those in different video. So what it can do, so let's say you have this small, or you have X small or medium. So depending upon that, it will do things for you. It is going to do pretty much the same thing, but the power will be limited. So run ad hoc queries and reports. So our warehouse can do all that for us. And power dashboards, BI tools, it can perform ETL or ELT data processing. It can load the data from S3 bucket or Azure GC blob storage or GCS buckets. So transform structured and semi-structured data. So warehouse can help us with all these different tasks. Now, how to create and use a warehouse? That's very easy. So use a role with the data warehouse creation privilege. So here we have use sysadmin. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and execute. Now once you execute, it says, hey, statement to executed successfully. You can see a little more detail here, but in our case we don't have much here, so I'm going to click on these results to hide them again. And here I'm going to create the warehouse, and when you create the warehouse, you will say create warehouse if not exist, and then provide the name of the warehouse. In our case, let's call this one Tech Brothers warehouse. And now that's the name of our warehouse, and with warehouse size small. I can go with X small. Actually, I'm not doing much, but if you want to be like, hey, guess what, I want to do a small size, that's fine, 2 credits per hour. Now auto suspended after 300, so it's going to suspend after 5 minutes. So 300 is the seconds here. That's a great feature, because if you're not using it, you're not running the queries, it should suspend, and then we should not be charged for that one. Then you have auto resume, and that means true start when query run. So if you run the query, it should automatically resume that warehouse for you, and it should run that query and bring us the data. Now initially suspended, that's also true, because if I create this one and I really don't use it, it's okay to initially suspended, and when we run the query, it will become alive. Now in the comments, it's a good idea, you can put some information and it helps you. So it is a demo warehouse for my tutorial, so that's great. So let's execute now this query and see what happened now. Now this warehouse, Tech Brothers warehouse is created. Great. So I can go right here now and see if we see right here. So you see that Tech Brothers warehouse. As of now, you don't see anything here, and it's like kind of grayed out, and it's suspended. So pretty much all of them are suspended. And once I run some queries, then it will become alive, and I will be using it. So you can make it alive as well. So you will say use warehouse, and then the name of the warehouse. That's going to help and make it active. So let's execute that one, and now we will hit this play button here, or execute, and say that it is executed successfully. And you can see that right here is still not really active. We are using it, we are telling our query, hey, I'm going to use it, but it's not active yet. So if we want to say, hey, use a database Snowflake sample data and use schema, so you will use this schema, and then you will run some select queries. Now what that will do, that will make it active for sure. So because we are going to use some tables and data and all that. So let's execute this, and then it will show us all those details. And now you will see, if you go right here, you can see that it is started and it is green. We are going to create a different type of databases. Databases are containers which holds different objects, and schemas are subfolders or sub containers which you have to distinguish or divide your tables and views according to different departments. I'm going to create different schemas and tables and databases for you, and you will learn it. Okay, let's take a look on our select statement here. So it is selecting n_name as nation, count, so it's going to give us count as customers from a nations table, and then we are joining the customer table and only getting the data which is present in both tables. I will talk more about this, how the joins work, how you will extract the data from multiple tables, and what are the group by, order by, and all different other clauses are available in a SQL query. But don't worry about that, this query is just returning us some information. So as I already have shown you here, so you have Indonesia here and the number of customers right here. You have then China here and the number of customers. So that's our query results look like. Now if we go further and hey, how to check existing warehouses in the query, you can always say show warehouses, and that's going to show you list of the warehouses available to you. In this case, you can see that I have compute_warehouse, I have Snowflake learn warehouse, and then I have a system stream notebook warehouse, then I have a Tech Brothers warehouse. So that's the one I created, and it is small in size. Now that's great, you can use show warehouses to see the warehouses, and but if you would like to see more detail about them, what you will do, so in this case what you are going to do here, I'm going to copy this right here and paste. So describe is a great statement that can help you. So you will say describe, and then you say the name of the object here in the warehouse, and then provide the name of that warehouse. So let's execute and it's going to give us all those detail. It is telling us what time it was created on, and what is the name, and what is the type of this object. So it is a warehouse. Now finally, if we would like to drop, that's also easy, no problem at all. So you say alter warehouse, name of the warehouse, and say suspend, and that will make it from active to suspend, and then you'll say drop warehouse if exist, and then it will drop it. Right now you can see that it is active and it is green, so no problem. We are going to suspend it first by saying alter warehouse, Tech Brothers warehouse, and now you can see it should be suspended, and if I hover my mouse there, it is saying suspended. Great. So once it's suspended, no problem to drop. So I'm going to go ahead and say drop warehouse, and then it is going to drop the warehouse. So if I go back here, and you can see right here, that's the Tech Brothers warehouse is gone. Okay, awesome. We learned a lot of good things here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some graphical user interface to show you, or to create the same warehouse. Now let me just make it this small, and then I'm going to navigate to the tab called the admin here. In the admin, once I'm right there is a warehouses here, and then click on that warehouse. You can see right there is a button called the warehouse, so that's a big blue button right there. Click right there, and here I'm going to provide a Tech Brothers warehouse again. After providing a name, you have the type of the warehouse, and it says standard Gen 1. Click right there and see for the standard Gen 1. It says Snowflake's original industry leading standard virtual warehouse. Okay, if that's a normal usage of yours and you're running some queries, that's fine. But if you want to go further with that, so you have standard Gen 2, that is standard Gen 2 warehouse, so brings new hardware and software optimization for most workloads that require most performance or more performance. Now if it is you are memory hungry, and then your processes need that memory, then you can go Snowpark Optimize. So in this case, the Snowpark Optimize warehouses offer a large memory and cache. They are often used for memory intensive operations. So depending upon your need, you are going to use one, and also pricing could be different. So keep in mind and take a look on those documentation for different pricing. Here is the size, and you can see it says that X small, so you have 1 credit per hour, small 2 credits per hour, and then keep going all the way to you have a 6 X large 512 credits per hour. So let's go with the maybe small in this case, and here is the advanced options. Now you can take a look on auto resume and auto suspend, and mostly we are going to leave this as is. If there is no activity for 5 minutes, suspend it, and once we run the query, it should auto resume. No problem at all. And here we are not talking about multi-cluster warehouses. We will go in these scenarios in another video. Now if you see right here, there is a small tab here. It says 2 credits per hour, or I can go and create a warehouse. You might be interested creating it quickly, but I'm more interested here in this tab for now. Ask me why, because there is a documentation for it, and it is very helpful documentation. Look at that. So we have this Snowflake, and here is a standard warehouse, and says the XS, so extra small 1 credit per hour, small 2 credits, 4 for medium, and keep going all the way to the 6X. And 512 credits per hour. Now here is a Gen 2 warehouse. So you see right there, there is a big difference right here. So XS here is 1, but in this case it is divided according to different environments here. So in AWS it is going to use 1.35 credits per hour. In Azure it will use 1.25 credits per hour, and then here it will be using 1.35 credits per hour. So depending upon different clouds, and the credits per hour is changed, and you can see for the small and also for the medium as well. So this is a different number of credits per hour in Gen 2 warehouse. Now if you are going to go with the Snowpark optimized warehouses, then you can see totally different configuration. So for XS is just 1 credit per hour, but it's fine here. And then you have 1.10 credits per hour, but then with the small it says 2, and then with the medium, if you see right there, as the memory configuration is changing here and going on the high, and the number of credits per hour is also increasing. So here is our large size, and in the large, in the even in the standard you have 8 credits per hour. Here the max is 10.8, but here when with the more memory you have, then credits goes to all the way to 16 credits per hour. So take a look what exactly is your need, and take a look on all those instance types and what are your needs. Now here at the end you can also go ahead and take a look on the pricing, because that's very important. And if you remember, we were talking about standard Azure pricing, and we were saying like, hey, this is $2 per credit hour, and that's true. In our case, that's what we use, and we use a small configuration, so that means 2 credit hours per 2 credit per hour. And here if we use that small configuration, will be paying $4. Now if you have different editions such as enterprise, you will be paying $3 per credit per hour, and that's you're going to change for the your business and VPS as well. So you see that prices changes. Also there are some variations in the regions, such as you are in the Azure, but if you are in US, the prices can be different. In Europe, the prices can be different as well, and the same goes for Australia and Canada and all that. So just remember, depending upon your needs, what you are using, and then multiply your credit per hour with your actual price, and that's how you will be billed. Now you can go further right here, and this is keep going all the way, and this has a lot more information, and you can take from there. So there would be this is really helpful, the documentation for looking into the pricing. So great, we are going to go back here and say create warehouse, and in this case it will be created, and you can see right there. So Tech Brothers warehouse, it is small and started. Now I can go right here and take a look on the activity here for hour, 8 hours per day, and those all details. Query history is there as well. I haven't executed any query, so I'm not seeing anything. Video has already gone to the 20 minutes, and I want to just close it here. And but before I do that, last thing, you will always go to the, let's say, go to the create, you will say new SQL worksheet, and then you will select the warehouse you would like to use to run the query. So in this case, Tech Brothers warehouse, and then that's selected right here. Now all the queries what we will run, they will be using Tech Brothers warehouse and build to this virtual warehouse. I thank you very much for watching this video. I will put the script in the description, and I will see you guys in next video.